The best result this project ever produced was fake. Two markets, both supposedly measuring the same thing, disagreeing by 14 degrees, that gap implied a probability difference of almost 100 points. It was the edge I finally thought I'd found, and every piece of it was a bug in my own code. This is the video where I track down my own best result and kill it. Trading was buried. Two clean deaths, both on the record, but burying it left one thing still breathing. Every strategy so far had the same job. Place a bet and hope it beat the crowd. This one placed no bet at all. It just watched. Take the same real-world event, listed on Polymarket and on Kalshi in the same instant. Watch both prices. When they disagree, that disagreement is information nobody with one data feed can see. That is exactly why I chased it. Every other approach I tried, a stranger with a scraper could copy in a weekend. This one they could not. A gap between two venues needs both venues time-aligned, live, at the same second. I could not trade the gap myself. The fees ate it alive, so I would do the next best thing, measure it cleanly, and sell the measurement. The first proof was small, and it held. On a longshot 2028 nomination market, Polymarket and Kalshi sat about 3.8 points apart, not a flicker that closed in a minute, a persistent gap that stayed put. Around it, I found 25 political events, both venues listed at the same instant, apparent twins I had not yet stress tested, same question, two independent prices, a measurable distance between them. That changed what this even was. A trade is a bet you place and forget. This was a feed, a live measurement of two crowds disagreeing, and you could sell that reading to anyone who wanted it. It looked less like a losing bot and more like a product. For the first time on this project, I could see something fundable. That is a dangerous thing to be able to see. So I pushed it wider. Politics gives you a handful of twins a season. Weather runs them all year. Both venues price the temperature in every major city every single day. If the method worked on an election, it should print on a city's daily high. More cities, more days, more twins, more signal. That was the whole plan. Then the weather data threw a number that stopped me cold. Not 3.8 points, 14 degrees. Two venues, same city, same day, disagreeing about the temperature by 14 degrees. Run that through the odds, and it implied a gap of almost 100 points. One venue called the outcome near certain. The other called it near impossible, bigger than politics, cleaner than politics. The strongest signal I had ever measured. And I felt the pull. This was the number that justified everything. Write it up, put it in the deck, tell people the pivot works, a long run of losses, and here was the one result that finally pointed the other way. Everything in me wanted it to be true. That wanting is precisely the thing you can never let near your own data. So I made myself suspicious instead. A 3-point edge, maybe, I believe, a near 100-point edge on the weather that nobody else on two public venues had noticed. Markets are not that generous. A gap that large is not an edge. It is a bug wearing an edge's clothes, and this one smelled like bugs that had fooled me before. The first tell was in the prices themselves. Add up every rung of a Polymarket temperature ladder, every outcome the market offers. Honest probabilities have to total 100%. Mine totaled 126. 26% too much, crammed into one ladder. When the whole board is inflated like that, you can't trust any single rung on its own. The second tell was time. A prediction price goes stale the moment people stop trading it. One side of my headline twin had not moved in about 30 hours. I was holding a fresh quote against a day-old ghost and calling the distance a signal. Two tells, one direction. The problem lived in my pipeline, not in the market. Now the move the whole project was really about. When you produce a result you desperately want to be true, your instinct is to guard it, to go find reasons it holds up. I did the opposite. I built an audit whose entire and only job was to prove my best number was garbage, not to check it, to break it on purpose. 4 independent agents, one assignment each. Take my exciting result and try to destroy it. Several of them re-derived a candidate twin by hand from the raw numbers up. They refused to reuse my code because if the bug lived in my code, only a fresh hand check would ever catch it. One agent had a single narrow task: find the artifact that faked the signal. Then the 4 came back, independently, no conferring, and I waited to see if my best number could survive 4 people trying to break it. The verdict came back unanimous. 4 separate attackers, 4 times the same answer. The signal is not real, and they did not just say no. Every one of them traced it to the same single cause, not 4 opinions. One shared point of failure, found 4 independent times. When your own skeptics converge that hard, the case is closed. So what did all 4 of them find? It was mine. To pair a Polymarket twin with a Kalshi twin, I keyed on the city and the date. Same city, same day, must be the same market. It was not. Kalshi runs 3 completely different temperature markets on one city and day. The day's high, the day's low, and one fixed afternoon reading. My key merged all 3 into one curve, blend a high with a low, and the middle of that distribution lurches sideways. That lurch was the 14 degrees. That merge had a name I already knew, series contamination. 2 things can share a name and measure completely different quantities. Join data on what it is called instead of what it truly is, and you invite a phantom through the door. Then I fixed the key and ran the whole measurement again end to end. A daily high matched only to a daily high, a low only to a low. Clean twins this time, nothing blended together. The 14-degree chasm collapsed. Corrected, the 2 venues agreed on the temperature to about 1/10 of a degree. My best signal ever was 1/10 of a degree of noise. This is the discipline underneath the entire project. Anyone can trust a negative result. A no flatters nobody, so you let it stand without a fight. The dangerous result is the yes you are quietly rooting for. A surprising number that happens to agree with your hope is guilty until proven innocent. So you spend more effort trying to kill your positives than you spend confirming them. Back to the number I opened with. The best result this project ever produced was a 14-degree divergence. Corrected, it was 1/10 of a degree of agreement, a near 100-point edge that lived and died inside one wrong join key in my own code. My 4 skeptics found it, named it, and killed it. That is what the audit actually bought me. Not a signal. Hard proof I never had one. But the audit only killed the weather. The politics still hung there. That 3.8 gap, those 25 twins, still unexplained. Maybe divergence was fake everywhere. Or maybe it was real in one corner I had not tested yet. There is exactly one clean way to find out. Put both venues under one regulator, measuring the same thing, so a wrong reading cannot survive. That test is the last video in this story. It settles whether the disagreement was ever real. And it hands back the one thing that outlives this whole project. A way to tell a true gap from a bug in the label. The method is written up. Subscribe and you get the verdict.